Yo, Shortbox Nation, this is Botter, and I'm here to tell you right now that con season starts early this year with the return of Northeast Florida's premier anime, comic book, and sci-fi event, Collective Con. That's right, Northeast Florida's largest pop culture convention returns for its 10th year on March 8th through the 10th at the Prime Osborne Center in Jacksonville, Florida. 10 years of Collective Con, they're pulling all the stops out to make sure this is a can't-miss event. And the guest list they got going, don't even get me started on the guest list. I mean, they've got A-list celebrity guests and voice actors from some of your favorite movies, anime, and video games like Elijah Wood and Sean Ashton, Ray Park, Trisha Helfer, Ross Marquand, Max Middleman, and Bo-Katan herself will be there, Katie Sackhoff. Tell me what other convention is giving you the opportunity to meet Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings, Darth Maul, and One Punch Man all under the same roof. Only at Collective Con. And if you're looking to get some of your favorite comics signed, or if you want to get an original sketch from some of the best comic artists in the world, well, you're in luck, because there'll be plenty of comic and creator guests there, like DC comic artist extraordinaire Clay Mann, Harvey Award-nominated illustrator John Taylor Christopher, Marvel and DC cover artist Chris Stevens, and acclaimed Star Wars author Timothy Zahn. They'll all be at Collective Con this year. And if you're looking to bring the family, or if you want to make a weekend out of it, you're in luck, because there'll be so much going on at Collective Con that weekend in the form of vendors, fan panels, video game tournaments, cosplay contests, after parties, and a bunch of fan events. You can purchase single and 3-day weekend passes now using the link in this episode's show notes, or by going to collectivecon.com to book your tickets and hotel. Buy your tickets now, and I'll see you at Collective Con, March 8th through the 10th. Now let's start the show. My favorite Hellboy story, which is The Chained Coffin.
God damn, that's such a good story. It is so metal awesome as fuck.
My mother was a witch. Try to make things right at the end. It doesn't work when your baby dad is a fucking devil.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Shortbox Season 6. Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yes. Yes, the light's on. Yeah. I'm recording.
That means
I know it means nothing. I know. I barely have it on.
It's
half
not the Krispy Kreme donut sign. Right. Don't mean nothing.
The lights are on. Oh, okay.
Damn, we went right into it. Nice. And it's hot as hell already. Shit. I listened back. Did anyone listen back to so last week I reused our first episode together as a crew. Did anyone have a chance to listen back to that old retro episode? I gave it a listen because I had to touch it up and stuff. Some things I noticed.
Where is this going?
One, I forgot all about Cashley. So shout out to Shaggy
Cashley.
Black for that awesome nickname, Cashley.
That's right.
Two, Ashley, I've got to apologize. I don't know why
For
the
a
hell
lot
I
of
was
things.
such a dick on that episode.
Just that one, Ashley.
I made you try out.
Just
I was
that
like,
one.
who am I?
Wait.
Yeah, you guys
wait.
had a secret meeting outside afterwards. Do you remember that?
Did
No,
we?
I did not.
I'm not saying we did it. I just don't remember.
I voted no, but you're already
It was
here,
like
so.
it was like American Idol, but like not in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Secret meeting.
All right. So what else did I realize?
You know what it was? It was like, will we be able to get away with PB jokes? Guys, this is a serious question.
I don't want this to change our dynamic, guys. Okay.
Yes, we have a very, very, very
Suck
strong...
in my gut. Hold my farts in.
What are the rules now, Botter?
Yeah. So there was Cashley. There was me being a giant dick to you about, trying out. But your excitement was so endearing. Like, you were so excited. I was like, man, where has that
Worn
gone
off.
now?
Yeah, totally.
Would you expect Stockholm Syndrome to happen?
Let's see. What else did I...
You literally make fun of an article of clothing every episode.
Don't ruin my intro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ashley, happy to have you on board.
Let me see what else did I recognize from the early days. Oh, Ed was reading current comic books.
Hold on. I was waiting for Botter to be like, what else did I recognize? Oh, yes. Stellar performance on my part. As always. As always. Guys, every episode I have been on fire. Can't tell you.
Ed was reading current comic books. He had a question about, he was like, did anyone read Civil War 2? Oh, so out. It's not, you said something about Civil War 2, and I was like, he would never say such a thing now.
I was working in a comic shop, so.
True.
So.
And then, C.
No, we can keep going.
C was a lot.
Nope. We don't got to say nothing.
No, I was going to say, C was like so much happier back in the day.
Oh, word. What's up? No, let's keep talking about that.
And of course, the Marvel jokes were still fucking fresh.
Mm-hmm. They're always
so
fresh.
Strong, so.
They're always fresh. They're Disney jokes now.
Yeah. It was a good little,
changed.
trip down memory lane. Just some things I recognize from Ashley's debut.
How often do you look at yourself in the mirror?
He's got that post.
That's what cut out.
Doesn't even have
Guys,
to.
let me
Does
say.
right now count? Speaking about articles of clothing, please tell me I'm not the only
I gotta
one
go.
that thinks that C came in here looking like Robert Downey Jr. from Iron Man 1. I love it.
I
for the
was
record.
out with some people. I didn't have time to go home.
He got
and get
gel
bum
in his hair
clothes when I
today.
come
Like
over.
He's
it's
got
great.
rings on every finger.
I have been off of work.
He's like the Mandarin.
I am the damn.
Yeah, that's
It's like
funny.
dude, you can't be Iron Man and the Mandarin. Make up your mind, Steve. Make up your mind.
Oh man, come on, Stark. And most importantly, I missed the Shortbox Nation. Welcome to episode 298, Shortbox Nation. I am your host, Botter Milligan. I am joined by my friends, my favorite people, my co-hosts. My right-hand man, Robert Stark, is here in the
Robert
building. I know, I fucked
Man,
up.
you really
I shit the bed
could
on that
not
one.
stick the landing.
Wow.
I didn't. Say
Hey
that
guys,
Cordero's
what's
here.
up? Hi.
Cesar Cordero is here with me. We got Edmund Danzart here with us.
Yo.
And Ashley Blaney Hoy.
Hey.
How's everyone doing today? Ashley, how are you? How's Sandor doing?
Oh, Sandor's doing great. Went to the dog park.
Oh, nice.
Fake interest.
Nice. Ed, how's the commissions going? How's everything?
Staying busy.
Awesome. Stark, how are you doing? Huh?
Really? How long are you going to milk this joke, Robert Stark?
As long as you have these glasses
Robert
on,
Stark.
I will continue Robert Stark. Oh, terrible. Aside from, recording with you guys, it's always a pleasure when I get to announce that we have a new patron
Hey.
joining the Short Box Elite. Let's go and get a round of applause ready for our new patron this month. Welcome Kyle Willis to the Short Box Elite. Thank you so much for joining our membership site on Patreon. Speaking of patrons, we have a vote going on our membership site right now. We're calling on all Short Box patrons to help us select the comic that will get the honors of being spotlighted on our upcoming 300th episode. It's a big deal. It's our landmark 300th episode, 8 years in the making. And the contestants currently reflect that milestone. Our three contenders for the 300th spotlight episode are Spawn, number 300, Amazing Spider-Man, number 300, and Frank Miller's 300. As you can
funny.
see, we have a certain theme going on.
I don't get it.
Spider-Man is currently ahead in the polls by a margin, with Spawn not too far off. Some dude with like Sticky Webby. You can either seal the deal for the wall crawler, or you can help Spawn get the spotlight treatment in a few weeks. If you've heard our Artist Spotlight episodes or any of our review ones, you know we do the topics justice. Feel free to cast your vote for this topic, for this episode topic, and future ones when you become a Short Box.
So rock the vote, guys.
Thank you, Diddy, circa
Rock the
2008.
Wasn't it?
Hi, I just got
voter
slapped
died,
with
yeah.
the driving while intoxicated, so I have to make these rock the vote
Community
commercials.
service.
Yeah, you are truly living up to the Tony Stark name right now, the Robert Stark name right now.
For
But-
just $2 a month, you
Yeah,
can make
for-
sure Botter gets the language lessons he needs to make sure all the ethnic names are pronounced correctly. Won't you donate?
I need it.
Won't you
Please.
donate,
No,
please?
like I need
He
it.
doesn't have a PS5. Won't you donate?
The light bill for all these sensual lightings in the studio is really
Central
expensive.
lighting. It is kind of central or sensual.
I said sensual for the record. You know, I've been reading my dictionaries and stuff, trying to get
No, I believe
better.
you. I believe you. I believe you. You got that.
All right, what was I saying? Support the show for as little $2 a month. You can enjoy perks like access to over 30 bonus episodes, commercial-free listening, topic voting, merch, and a whole lot more.
I'm gonna grab
See
your
for
leg.
yourself. Please do not.
The sensual spider is what I call it.
Look, we need money because I need to take C to like freaking training or something. This dude is all over the place today.
HR.
HR.
Yeah, for real. HR. Anyways, this episode, Shortbox Nation, is brought to you by our sponsor, Gotham City Limit, Jacksonville's premier location for comics, collectibles, toys, and more. And today's topic is specifically brought to you by our Shortbox patrons. We started to allow our True Believer tier patrons the ability to assign comics.
Why did we
TV.
do that?
I have no idea.
No, I'm legitimately asking.
It sounded like a good idea. Well, because, man, the most important part of our show, aside from me, is our short box patron.
Dude, that was so good. You snuck that in so
Thank you,
fast.
thank
I was
you.
like,
I've
yeah.
been training Rocky Star. I
was like, wait a minute.
You're like, yeah, of course you. Wait a minute. No, because our short box nation is the most important part of our show. Without
Yes.
them, we wouldn't have a show. And even more important then them is the Shortbox patrons who contribute to the show, who directly support and help keep the lights on here at the Shortbox studio. So I figured, why not allow them the ability to, hear the show and the episodes and the topics that they want to hear.
Right. Kind of steer the ship a little.
Yeah, absolutely. And this episode, is definitely a testament to that. We've been allowing our True Believer tier patrons the ability to assign us homework, but it's Shortbox homework. So it's like fun. It's nerdy. This week we're reviewing Hellboy, The Wolves of St. August. This was suggested by our Shortbox patron, Mr. Nick Wagner.
Surprise. Shocker.
Yeah, right. I did want to mention some of the other suggestions that we got this week from our Shortbox patrons were things like Dave Stevens, The Rocketeer, Peter David and George Perez's seminal Hulk series, Future Imperfect. We also had titles like Pride of Baghdad, Satoshi Kon's Opus, and a whole lot more suggested from our patrons. So once again, listeners, if you want to enjoy perks like telling us what to do, become a Shortbox patron on patreon.com/theshortbox. And before I go any further and we dive into Hellboy, Wolves of St. August, in the interest of those listeners who haven't read this story and might be interested in reading it on their own, might I recommend giving this episode a pause and checking, Comixology, your local comic shop?
Go to your comic store. I'm pretty sure they have a bunch of trades or even back issues of Hellboy.
I think it's in the chain coffin trade.
Yep.
Yes,
yeah, because I thought it was in the Right Hand of Doom, which I have, and I was like, yes, so it's not there. And I had to
stand alone.
Original 1996
It is.
pressing?
It is.
94.
Oh, and then I might also recommend services like library services like Hoopla, and then I always forget the name of the other one, but they tend to have trays that you could check out. So there's plenty of options for you.
LimeWire, Morpheus,
Fair Share.
Nice.
But there's plenty of options for you to either go buy a copy or read it digital, because from here on out we're going to definitely be spoiling the hell out of this old story. I'm sure that some of our hardcore Hellboy fans are excited to dust off their copy, so now is your time to shine. Ed, you too. You were pretty particularly excited when I shared this as an option. I'm assuming this one's got a special place in your heart and your collection, right?
Yeah, I still have my original collection where they took it from the Dark Horse Presents and he added a few pages and all the the cover gallery and stuff. So this is kind of my first Hellboy story, and I think Mignola's first standalone story as well. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Ashley, you were the only one that absolutely despised this choice. I think you had,
not true at all.
You had some choice
did.
words
She
for
literally
Nick
has the
Wagner.
library edition with
She
her.
did. It's like, well, I got Pride of Baghdad. I mean,
So my thing was, I had literally reread Pride of Baghdad like 2 months ago, and I was
You're like,
looking.
my opportunity has come.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know if this story is in my library editions because I only have the first 3. And then I found out it was, and I was like, I'm cool.
You score.
I'm excited to do this.
but you didn't just suggest. You're like, well, I have it.
So it was like, Bart was like, all right, here are the choices. And I was like, Hellboy, always Hellboy.
Yeah.
And Ed was like, yeah, Wolves of St. August. And then it was like, Ashley was like, for a little bit, wait a little longer. A thumb emoji, blink, appears on one of the Hellboys from Botter. Blink, another one. Ashley's like, guys, I'm cool with whatever. And it was like, what does that mean? Interesting.
That's not a vote.
Yeah, we're like,
She sounds cool with whatever, but I have
I've got Pride of Baghdad.
If you guys want to borrow it, because I'm just
Guys,
assuming
if you
you
guys- I'm
illiterate
assuming-
fools didn't read it.
I'm assuming you guys enjoyed the equivalent of a U2 album in comic form. Just to make sure you guys have it. I don't know if you have it.
How about we give a quick overview of the story for anyone that might not be too familiar, and maybe it'll pique their interest. Hellboy, The Wolves of St. August was originally serialized in Dark Horse Presents 88 through 91. So this was back in August through November 1994. It was later collected in a few dedicated trade paperbacks of the same name. I think we mentioned a few of them. I know Wolves of St. August had its own mini trade. It was also collected in Chain Coffin and others.
Yeah.
And maybe some other ones. Knowing Hellboy is definitely in some other trades, but those are the ones that kind of
It's in the library editions, volume 2.
Ooh, thank you, C. Yo.
Am I right about that?
No,
Yeah, it's
more than
volume
likely,
2.
Okay.
It's just that C has got his notes all you guys got to understand when C comes through with notes, I know he's excited. I know
Dude,
he is.
I'm ready, man.
Super excited.
Good,
for
I
some
can
shows.
take this episode.
You know what? No, you know what it is? Dude,
You got to see.
look, I'm saying Nick Wagner is going to be listening, and if I don't fucking come correct, I know I'll get a text.
Yo, for sure.
Or he'll call my ass and he'll just be like, I'm disappointed in you.
Oh,
I'm disappointed in you. And I'll just be like,
Well, you're still the big brother I never had. Don't hate me.
You're going to wake up with such a shitty tattoo. You'll be like, damn it, Nick Wagner strikes again.
No, my wife will be like, you making Nick Wagner mad at you again? And then like she'll hit me in the face.
Oh.
Wow.
Because
Tony,
that's the kind of...
is everything okay?
I'll be sure it's not Robin.
What's going on with Pepper Potts? Why is she doing this to you? All right, but as far as the story goes, Hellboy, world-renowned occult investigator, and Dr. Kate Corrigan traveled to a tiny village in the Balkans of Eastern Europe called, is it Griart?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. In 1994, to find the town decimated by the angry ghosts of werewolves and their associate Father Kelly, murdered by a living werewolf, thanks to a 780-year-old curse that's been put on the town. From my understanding, it's actually based on an actual story of St. Patrick cursing a group of pagans because they howled like a bunch of wolves when he was trying to preach Christianity to them, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I feel like that is a pretty accurate overview. Hopefully that might have piqued some interest for those of you who haven't read it. I definitely highly suggest it. I want to kind of open it up to you guys. Is there any interesting trivia or facts or Easter eggs that you guys want to mention before we go into our thoughts on the actual story and things? Did you guys learn anything new? No.
I'll say eagle-eyed Hellboy fans, if they'll notice that Father Kelly, when Dr. Corrigan's asking Hellboy, hey, you knew him, didn't you? And Hellboy's like, yes. We conducted an exorcism that lasted 12 days in Arizona. It was so gnarly that Father Kelly almost lost an eye, which is interesting as an Easter egg because in the future, spoilers, Hellboy ends up losing an eye in the future. Whether or not Mike Mignola was planning that far back, probably not, because this is the inception of Hellboy. Yeah. Literally, it's his first story he wrote by himself without John Byrne. Probably not, but it's still cool to see that he didn't get rid of those sort of like asymmetrical storytelling elements. Because Hellboy, if you look at him, he's sort of an asymmetrical character, right? He's got one arm that's bigger than the other. His horns are kind of filed down, and like Hellboy himself is a great metaphor for how Mignola kind of takes everything and puts it on its head, right? So, like you mentioned earlier, Botter, that the Wolves of St. August is based off of St. Patrick, basically laying the whammy on this group of pagans and cursing them to be werewolves, essentially. Well, now you have a half demon, half man, literally serving proxy as a saint in this story, where he is basically the equivalent of the saint. He's not the devil in the story. He's not the monster. He's actually the saint. Which again, another Hellboy reference is another eagle-eyed reference for Hellboy fans out there. Hellboy actually is sanctified. He is a holy figure. He is, in God's eyes, a saint. As per a miracle happening, whether or not he witnessed it or the priest around him witnessed it, when he bled, lilies grew where his blood fell on the ground. So that is a miracle, and also one of the defining things in the Hellboy comics that make him a saint, which is kind of neat. Another way Mignola kind of takes everything and makes it asymmetrical and puts it upside down and makes you think about stuff.
Yeah, Ed, I'm going to take this one off with you because he's got it. He's got this whole episode by himself. I mean, Dan, that was good. Thank you, C.
I like Hellboy.
The only the things I'll go ahead and add to that really well said statements is that I know that this marks the first appearance of Dr. Kate Corrigan, the character, as well as the first mention of Dr. Izar Hoffman. I think both Ed and C both said that this was Mignola's like debut writing the story on his own without any assistance from John Byrne. And the reason why I thought, Ed, that trade was from 96 is because I know that the trade paperback did win the 1996 Best Graphic Album of Previously Published Work Harvey Award. So it did win a Harvey Award.
Wow.
I think 2 years after the fact. So that's what made me think it was, the 96 trade paperback version. My apologies. I know that the creative team for this one includes, Mignola on both writing and art duties. And then the letterer is, what is it? Pat Brasset? I'm going to run with it. Pat Brasset. And then the colorist is James Sinclair. So that is the creative lineup. Ashley, how about you kick us off with this one? What's your familiarity with the story? Have you read it before?
Yeah, I'd read the story before, but it, because I had read through this library edition, but it didn't stand out to me. That's why when you guys were talking about the story, I didn't immediately know which story it was until I went through and reread it. I think just reading so much Hellboy, for some reason, this one never stuck with me. And it was really cool just researching it and finding out that it was his first like full writing job. And he was talking about working with the editor and how he had to do all these rewrites, and it was like such a nightmare. And then they had to add pages eventually. But yeah, this is like a really good start, I'd say, to read Hellboy, because this is kind of like the beginning of him doing everything himself.
Well said. Ed, what was your first exposure to Hellboy? Yo, this is Botter. Sorry for interrupting this episode, but I'll keep it brief. I wanted to let you know about a massive sale we have going on over at the Shortbox Store on all of our merchandise and apparel. That's theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com. You can now save 20% off your entire order using the discount code YOO, Y-O-O. So if you've been waiting for the right time to finally buy that gauntlet snapback, or if you ever wanted to buy any of the shirts you see me wear on the podcast, well, now's your chance to get them for a steal. We still have a few sizes left of everything, but they won't last long, and once they're gone, they are gone. And then I mentioned that all of our apparel is screen printed on high quality material. None of that heat transfer or direct to garment stuff. Our shirts are some of the most comfortable ones you'll ever wear, and the hats look even better in person. So wear your support for the Shortbox Nation proudly, knowing that you're going to look damn good doing it. Get to theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com as soon as you can, and don't forget to use that discount code YOO, Y-O-O, to save 20% off your entire order. All of this information can be found in this episode's show notes if you want to get there faster. Thanks for not pressing fast forward. Now back to the show.
Honestly, I think I would see this guy, just the Hellboy guy, because he was just doing little sketches and things. I would see it, and then I think the Dark Horse Presents, I might have seen the character, but once I got this book, but I didn't really pay attention. It's like, this is weird looking, I was like, this is big hand jackass looking thing.
Why does he have goggles on his head?
I know, goggles, what are those things? But, I think my first real, because I think the thing I knew Mignola from before was the Rocket Raccoon miniseries he did, and that style was like way more. He didn't quite adopt this style yet. He was still kind of doing these harsh shadows, but it was more like, almost like an Art Adams, trying to go that route artistically. So seeing this and seeing these harsh shadows and kind of almost simplified artwork, deceptively simplified artwork, it was just a big shock for me. And I just thought, this was way different than anything else that was out at the time too. And, the Legend imprint, where everyone kind of started looking away from the big two, between Image and the Legend guys. It's like, let's just try something different. So, yeah, this is actually the first thing I have. Maybe I might have one of the short stories in a Dark Horse Comics Presents, because I'd get those every once in a while. But, those were all black and white and just totally random. And, but yeah, as soon as I got this, it was like, this is awesome.
So, and that actually raises a question for me personally, only because I don't think I've ever seen them in the original form in like those Dark Horse Presents. Hell, I don't even think I've seen Dark Horse Presents single issues around like that.
It wasn't allowed in your house.
Yeah. So were they originally just in black and white?
Yeah, like I said,
really?
And that's kind of where a lot of the Legend guys kind of introduced those series before they broke off, Sin City and maybe Madman, like they kind of got their start. And then you'd get I think like Paul Chadwick was part of that group, the Concrete stuff. And like I said, you get all these, and I always like that stuff because it's, it's like getting 4 comics in one, it's like getting multiple things. So it was a cool kind of being cognizant, during his very short-lived line, because he even drew the little Easter head logo that they had, which is awesome. But yeah, that's like my first exposure to it.
See, how many different versions of this story do you own in like some sort of physical medium?
Jesus.
I'm sure you've got like it in issues, trade, and
4.
And 4?
Probably 4.
Huh. All the trades, I'm assuming?
Trades, single issues.
Damn, you got the single issues for Dark Horse Presents?
One of them.
Nice.
One of them.
Damn, nice. Ed,
I have the first appearance of Hellboy. You know who got it for me? Drew.
Good old Drew.
Drew bought that shit for me. I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, here, dude, love you, man. And I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, I'll be sure to talk shit to him next time I see him. Yo,
That's fucked up.
where's my first appearance? Ed, you brought up a good point, and it makes me kind of skip around as far as my questions, but and maybe C, you can chime in on this one, and Ed, feel free to as well.
After you said some shit about me hijacking the show, I'm staying quiet the whole time.
Have you brought up this being much different than the other books out at the time, and sort of like how we did with the New Mutants. I was kind of curious to know what other comic books was out during this time.
Well, this is early '90s, so it was like everyone was trying to look like Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, that kind of '90s extreme grimacing, rippling muscle.
So
it was like artistically, visually was so interesting, and a lot of the Dark Horse stuff was visually interesting because that was kind of like they were kind of that independent comic, but they did some licenses and stuff like that, kind of like what IDW does now.
Yeah.
So it was just, for me at that point, it's like, okay, I want to see something. I like that stuff. I always like the superhero stuff, but I want to see stuff that I would be more interested in trying to draw, or trying to emulate.
You got to understand, Butter, at the same time, all these guys like Jim Lee were like looking up to people that were different influencers at the time as like Mike Mignola and Frank Miller, who like their influences were like Jack Kirby and Will Eisner, right? And you can tell because you look at the early 90s, most of the hot comics don't look like they're trying to be Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
They look like they're trying to be Mark Silvestri or pick a guy that's like from that same camp, right?
Art Adams, yeah.
Right, Art Adams for sure. And same with, with Frank Miller, Sin City is basically, just rated R, Dropsy Avenue.
And that was a big...
rated,
Damn, well
rated
said, yeah.
X, I should say.
Yeah.
Like
and that was a big
super violent.
departure. Frank Miller's stuff was like, took a whole different turn with Sin City.
Right.
And then you had like, guys that I like Sam Keith
there you go.
coming along, just like, these guys are way different. And then I think that's kind of when I started finding out about like Sienkiewicz and guys like that.
Yep. Yeah. This was kind of like if you were a little drawer kid, like I think all three of us were.
Yeah.
This more or less was like it was on our radar for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, I'm not gonna lie and be like in 1991, I 100% immediately was on board with Hellboy's Seed of Destruction.
They're gonna have 2 movies.
Yes, and
movies.
And I was like, no, because I'd be a damn liar if I said that. I was the same little kid that
We're
just
kids
be
that
like,
we just want stuff that look cool.
Right.
And
I was
we
like
want stuff that look different.
yes, I was like, oh fuck, look, Gambit's here, sweet, he's smoking a cigarette. I want to smoke a cigarette, and it's just like. And then I would read a Wizard magazine, and then there's Hellboy, and I'm like, who's that red guy with the big hand and the goggles on his head? And I didn't get it. So, go ahead, Ed.
And then when I was seeing that stuff, and I'm so used to like, Mignola's Big 2 work, which he was kind of trying to do something different. He was trying to be kind of more Art Adams than he didn't really have that instantly recognizable style yet. So I'm like going from that Rocket Raccoon, which I have to bring in because it's awesome.
Yes,
that
you do.
Rocket Raccoon series to this, and I was like, and at first it's jarring because it's like, did he just stop? And when you don't, and then when you're young too, you're like, when you first look at this before you really appreciate it, he's like, oh, this is easy. Then you try to draw it, you're like, holy shit, this is not easy.
His line work,
line work, his use of shadows is unparalleled.
It is noir in the best way. It is such a loving send up to like pulp novels.
And I didn't realize at the time, but his storytelling, even this early, because this is almost reads as an action book more than like a horror, a true traditional horror, or what it's evolved into. And it's like his storytelling and his, panel to panel storytelling is untouchable.
It's out the gate. He had his aesthetic down.
Yeah,
like out the gate, he had like, I know how to create mood by just showing you a panel of like a statue.
Yeah.
And there's no like, if you look at the Scott McCloud rules of drawing comics, it just breaks all of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is this here? It slows the story down. It's like, not if it's creating mood.
Yeah.
So, and that was one of my notes I had here.
No, but you get to talk. Well, you listen to him.
Well, I got
show now.
I got real mad that dude cutting grass in the back would interrupt fucking Ed. Sorry, Ed.
That's all right.
Well, actually, let me take a step back because I did ended up looking into what other comic books or comic book moments happened the same year. So, I mean, the first issue of this premiered, August 1994. So I just looked up kind of big moments from 1994, and here's some of the ones I got.
Here
Right.
we go.
Punisher meets Archie #1 came out in 94.
Yes.
And
That's good too, though.
Well, here's the thing. I thought it was a much later series. I thought that was like a book from the 2000s. I didn't know it came out in 94, so that was kind of cool to see. This was also the same year that Kyle Rayner was introduced as a new Green Lantern. Dick Tracy and Tess Trueheart were going through a divorce.
Damn, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit.
I used to read Dick Tracy.
They eventually, I guess, got back together. But this was also the same year that Cyclops marries Jean in X-Men
shit.
#30. Spider-Man Clone Saga began the same year.
God.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
DC had launched their
Probably
Zero.
another reason I was
Yeah.
looking at Dark Horse. It's like, fuck this.
DC also started launching their 0-month promotion. X-Men started their Phalanx Covenant crossover.
Yes.
And this was also the same year that Marvel purchased Malibu Comics.
Oh, boy.
And
Damn,
abolished
Malibu.
Yeah. They also abolished the position of editor-in-chief. They fired Tom DeFalco in place of 5 group editors. This is where they took the shift
Oh,
from...
shit. The bullpen don't exist no more.
Yeah, this is where they took, instead of one EIC, they had 5 different ones for different, Spider-Man EIC, the X-Men EIC, etc.
That's funny that you mentioned the Marvel purchase because Malibu is the original publishers for the Image books before Image struck out on their own. 'Cause Lee Field was, I think, buddies with the publisher because he was trying to do work for his own work, his own Youngblood stuff, and work on, I think Hawk and Dove and whatever Marvel and DC stuff he was
Jesus,
working
dude.
at the time.
You know what's funny? My dumb cousins from New York were always trying to act like they were cool, and like they found out I read comics, and they were like, "Oh, yo, this is fat kid. You got to get on this shit. You got to get on this shit. It's Malibu Comics, bro. It's Malibu. It's like all the Marvel and like DC characters. It's like those guys that made them up. They like have a comic company now." And I was like, I don't know if that's how that works. And they're like,
Didn't they? I don't remember. Vaguely, didn't they like send Juggernaut to one of the Malibu books? Or something crazy.
He was fighting what's that dude's name? Prime or something like that?
Yeah.
there was a big Malibu Marvel crossover.
was it the night? Was it the Nightman? Nightman was another
Yeah.
character. It was
Yeah.
a goofy costume.
Then they just.
I got my homework assignment next time.
They had good. They had good. Oh my god. The Malibu retrospective.
Well, I bring up all that to say, Ed, I think you and C both had a good point that.
Well, wait, hold on a second. I was
Yeah,
going
go
to say, Ashley, was any of this on your radar when you were like younger?
No, not at all.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
figuring. Like,
Have you
you're-
read any of this stuff that I just mentioned from '94?
She's like, sounds like I didn't miss anything.
I had
Hiding her Malibu hardcover. Nothing.
I got Uncanny X-Men in the mail, and that's it.
Oh, did
What?
you? Wait, you
Yeah.
were one of those kids that had a subscription?
Oh, you were
yeah,
so
and it
badass.
would come
Come
up
on.
like all
Did it come in a
beat up.
tube?
No, it just came in a plastic wrapper. Like,
Oh,
beat
that
the
sucks.
hell
Yeah, all
every
fucked up,
time.
like the mailman was like,
Yeah.
aha.
He would roll it up. Yeah.
I mean, no, even worse, he's being nice and she has to like
Jean
watch him
dies.
destroy. Yeah,
He just ruins it.
it's a good one. Generation X shows up. See you later.
But I think it's safe to say that
Dang, I didn't know that.
this Hellboy was definitely stands out amongst all of these, all of the things that I just kind of
Hold on,
mentioned.
did you pay for this or did your parents pay for it?
I paid for it.
Yeah.
Damn, Ashley,
I had a
selling
job.
lemonade.
What were you doing back then?
Oh man.
Selling drugs.
I had a job.
Sorry, what?
I worked at a restaurant when I was 15.
Okay.
And they would just give me cash.
Cool.
And I bought myself base lessons and Uncanny X-Men.
Wow.
Damn,
Yeah.
damn, that's way more
I
badass
was
than I was
not
buying.
cool. I was
you
not
still-
cool in high
You
school.
were playing bass lessons and reading
for a
X-Men.
Michelle Branch cover band.
That's right.
I'm
We're looking for
waiting.
that
I'm
tape.
waiting for the Ed Furl, right?
tape.
300 episodes later, still waiting on this cover
No.
band tape.
Shortbox listeners. Demand
Patrons,
it.
please.
Send us emails demanding this tape.
Actually, you've got the trade open to possibly maybe one of my favorite pages from this story. So I'll start out with you. Give me the good, and I normally would ask the bad and ugly, but I don't think you get a bad or ugly in a Mike Mignola Hellboy story.
You don't.
But I will ask it anyways. Ashley, what are some of the standout moments, scenes, or characters for you from the story?
It's just these giant, like the giant werewolf, like William, just all the panels where he's just like this huge, like looming beast.
Yeah.
And
It takes the skin
all-
off and it's like
Yeah,
gets huge. Yeah,
and
that's
all
awesome.
the black that he uses.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he always uses black, but I feel in this story, like 80% of the panel can be black, but you know exactly
Ashley, please.
what
It's
the scene
2020.
is.
80% of the panel can be African. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're gonna get us canceled.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. I got to do all the work here.
Edit that.
Come on, brother.
And even just like his little simple silhouettes have just such character to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll put like a little sliver of just light. And it's just
exactly. Like I finished
like
this
that,
story.
like the Father Ed there with just, his whole face
Yeah,
and just his
you just see,
collar
like,
has the little square.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
And it is like I finished a story and I just kept going. Like I should have read the story twice, but I just like read the rest of this volume because it'd been so long since I'd read it.
Hey, Shortbox Nation. Sorry for the interruption. Just a few quick words from our sponsor, and we'll get right back to the show. Yeah, so this is where I pick up my comics.
Excuse me, might I remind you the rules here at No Touch Collectibles? No loitering, no friendship, no touching the merchandise without gloves, and no free bags and boards.
Yeah, man, I know. This shop sucks. I don't even know why I shop here.
Well, we could go to Jacksonville's premier location for comic books, collectibles, toys, and more.
You okay?
At Gotham City Limits, you get 10% off comic books in your pull, 20% off trade paperbacks and hardcovers, 10% off high-end figures and statues, and free bags and boards. It's practically criminal.
And that's why Gotham City Limits is a place of the people.
How many times have you watched the Batman trilogy?
I'm ashamed to say.
Well, I mean, they're not bad.
One time for every time the Joker has taken the city hostage.
Are you done with that?
Yeah, I'm done.
Well, let's just go take our business there.
Gotham City Limit. It's the comic book shop Jax deserves, but not the one.
All right. I get it. It's a great shop. Let's just go. It made me do the same thing. I wanted to bust out like all my other Hellboy, actually finish collecting the rest of the those volumes and things. It put with Hellboy, it's so easy to just get put back in the mood to read Hellboy or like get into like a rabbit hole because they're so short, it's a good anthology story and you get like a really good story out of it.
It's good, and then on surface, like you were talking about earlier, it's like surface level, pretty straightforward storytelling, but you can really dive deep into the mythology and make it as deep as you want to, but you can still enjoy it on a surface level.
Yeah, Mignola gives you the option to have like, here's a straight up, like when people are like, yeah, this comic is like a tribute to like pulp. Like, no, fuck you. No, it's not. No, it's not. This literally is. Like, he makes Lovecraftian references in all, if not most of his stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, you can enjoy it on a surface level and be like, the red guy's beating shit out of a bunch of werewolves. It's awesome. And you can look at that and be like, holy shit. Like, not only is this demon supposed to be the saint in the story, but like you can look into the mythology the way Mignola has in the past. Like, there's a story in Catholic mythology about Saint Francis of Assisi, a priest who was known for talking with animals, right? Well, there's a story where there's a wolf that terrorizes a town, like this man-eating wolf, and it's about to enter the town, and Saint Francis kind of stands up and says, nah, you're not allowed to come in here no more. And the wolf's like, how can you talk to me? What is this all about? And he's just like, fuck you, God, son, get the fuck out of this town. And like, and then the wolf's like,
great
all right,
credentials.
Exactly. The wolf's like, all right,
fair enough.
Game recognizes game, and then runs away. And it's pretty much like you could look at it on that level too. Like, I have so many good things to say.
because he mentions both those stories.
Yeah.
The one you mentioned and then the one you mentioned
St. Patrick,
earlier about the St. Patrick story.
If you had a bad thing to say about it, what would you say, Ashley?
I go on. Not enough Marvel.
I knew it.
Where's Iron Man?
Where's Robert Stark?
To my left. But anyway.
I mean, it makes sense that it was so short, seeing as that it was in the Dark Horse Presents.
Right.
Like I do feel like the wrap up was really fast.
Yeah.
Like I just wish that there was more of it, but I understand he had to do it in that format.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the shortness, my only gripe I had, and upon second reread, so I had two. One was that I
Peter
was
Parker didn't save the day.
Yeah, not at all. And no Stan Lee cameo. What?
Stanley, yeah.
But the first one that I'll go ahead and erase because I got it on the second go was I felt that I was like, wait, how did Hellboy arrive to the conclusion that that William got his family to kill everyone in town? Because I didn't I guess it didn't dawn on me that when Kate ends up falling through the floor into the chapel and where the family was being where the family was buried, she says the little ghost girl says, "Oh, he'll make us, hurt you." So that in Hellboy was there when that happened. So
she gives him a chance to
to run away. Yeah,
and then once he's arrived, then that's when they're trapping the exits. They're basically standing in the way.
Yep. But I think the only gripe I had, and this might kind of be more so what Ashley you said, is that I think the shortness of the story didn't allow you to really understand William's backstory. I mean, there's not much to it, but I did feel I wasn't sure, like, well, why now did he decide to do it? Commit the massacre or whatnot? How does I just wasn't sure, like, his motives.
They talked about the Inquisition.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of history in that part of the world regarding that sort of thing. Where, like, if you weren't Catholic, because the Catholic Church it's nothing is black and white, regardless of how stark the colors are in this. Everything is very. I do what I can. Yeah. But the Catholic Church are kind of bad in this as well, in the sense that they are completely a part of a movement at the time that was no tolerance for anybody's faith, to the point where either you convert or you die, or we put you to the sword, or we curse you, excommunicate.
And that's why they hid the family.
Right. Yeah. So it's like there's a lot.
And they changed the name of the town.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
So this is a parallel that maybe I'm reaching, but I'll go and share it anyways. Forget it. I kind knowing that
wrong.
Knowing that this is Mignola's first story on his own, it makes me appreciate Dr. Kate Corrigan's this being her first appearance, because I'm drawing kind of parallel between her and Mike Mignola, and especially like some of the things that the dialogue she shares with Hellboy. She is a book nerd. I think Hellboy says in the story that she's published 16 books on folklore and the extra.
This is her first in the field investigation.
And she even says something to Hellboy when he's like, I'm going to go about this alone, but I know I can't stop you. And she rebuttals with, wait a minute, excuse me? Like, weren't you the one that told me that it's time for me to jump in? And it makes me kind of, I don't know, it's like, I wonder if Mignola is kind of writing her from his perspective of kind of diving into the world of comic books.
It's like kind of, you have the scholar and you have kind of like the muscle, the brains and the muscle of this too.
Yeah. See, what about you? What about like some standout? What's your favorite like kind of moment or panel or scene from this story?
Did you just skip it?
I was going to you. I'm kind of bouncing around today.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, switching it up.
I like it. No, I just want to make sure my man gets represented, Doug.
No, man.
Ed said he was sent this one out. I'm trying to be respectful of his wishes. That's the type of friend I am. I listen and I try to help out.
What sticks out?
Yeah, what's like your favorite, I guess, moment from the story?
Just I think the idea. God, it's drawn simply, but it's kind of gross because you get the idea, because they set it up earlier. Like, you'll just see a panel where it's the wolf, like the eye of the wolf, and then the next panel is this fucking gnarly ass guy with his fingers.
Oh yeah,
oh my God.
They're sharp, and he cuts his fucking skin open, and he just rips it off, and totally turns into like there's a wolf underneath, right? Like there's a wolf in people's clothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's all there. There's the thing that sticks out the most is how Ed said it best. Like, on the surface level, there's a great story, and on the underneath, it's God damn it! Is this the best story Mignola's ever written out the gate? Because the story is literally about having different layers underneath, where the story, while at the same time has different layers, while every character has different layers. It might be the most quintessential Hellboy story written on accident. I don't think he did it on purpose. I just think he knew exactly everything there was to know about what he wanted to make. Yeah. And he just did it.
And another clever thing I think he did too was when, and I think this was like in a lot of the earlier Hellboy stuff where, and you know how the stories, they always jump year to year.
Yes.
Like in the first few pages, he's like, yeah, I saw this back in, because this story takes place in contemporary times, like in the 93, 94.
Right.
So you know anything about this character, but once he starts throwing out all these dates, then it's such a quick, okay, this guy's practically like an immortal.
Sure, he doesn't age like we do.
Yeah, with just listing up 3 or 4 dates, you establish this character right off the bat.
Right.
Just so smart.
And I'll piggyback on that because I feel like Mignola, and you guys brought it up a little bit, but Mignola is a master at establishing, for me, like setting. He creates an atmosphere like really fast. Like within 1 or 2 pages, like he establishes the case. He does a good, unique way of making his own voice and his own like story.
Well, it's simple because
creates his own myth, yeah.
Everybody knows what a werewolf is. Everyone's heard of the curse of a werewolf in some form or fashion over the years. So it's a simple concept that you don't have to over-explain. Everyone knows what a werewolf is. You just say, okay, every 7 years, this is what happens. Boom,
Yeah, he keeps it simple. Yeah, like trims the fat.
If I had anything negative to say about this, like the bad or the ugly, if you will, the only thing I have is that because this is his second story, and I was talking with this about somebody, then this is like a minor thing. Hellboy isn't all the way fleshed out as what he is, right? Like you can read later Hellboy stories and you can tell like Mignola's a lot more comfortable writing him, where he's like,
well, first it was always like, oh crap, like getting knocked around.
Initially he's got like a cigar in his hand. He's like, oh no, he's like,
this is gonna suck.
Punching samurai heads, shut up, you don't talk now, bam, like. But this one, Hellboy's kind of tight-lipped, and he's not really making too many jokes, so it's like he's still kind of like, all right, how much like Jack Kirby can I make this character? How much? Not yet. No, I'll tippy toe. I'll put my water in the shallow end.
Mignola's sense of humor is underrated. Like I don't think I personally give him enough credit for his sense of humor. Like there's a panel or a part where he pulls out his gun and then Kate is like, what is that? Is that your gun? He's like, well, I'm trying to get modern. And then before,
then he drops it.
Yeah. And then the other one that had me chuckling, because I was like, man, this is like something that a character in an action movie would say, like the badass line right before Hellboy. I think after Hellboy stabs him with that with the cross, he says, I bet right now you wish you had your skin, didn't you? I was like, damn, if this was an action movie, that would land.
Stick around.
Yeah, that's why it's so hard that they haven't gotten any of these movies right. With that Hellboy feel, because it feels like you can feel it and you know what you want, but they still haven't hit it yet.
Yeah, I think
because I don't know if they get it. Well, okay, I don't know, man. Like on one hand, I agree with Ashley, where it's like, damn, like we haven't gotten a good like Hellboy movie. But then on top of that, it's like movies are always supposed to be kind of different.
Yeah.
Than the source. Like a movie different from the source material can still be a good movie. Now, whether it's a good Hellboy movie remains to be seen. We got lucky with Del Toro. Like those are good movies. Are they good Hellboy movies? Maybe the first half of the first one, and then the second one was like Del Toro wanking off to his fantasy shit like he normally does.
The first one, I think the director's cut was pretty
solid.
Close.
Yeah,
it's close as you're gonna get. Yeah, he's gonna get. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that this might be the most action-packed Hellboy story?
It's up there.
Because I feel like you kind of got you got a really big brawl. Like, and I don't see too much of that in Hellboy. Getting to see Mignola really get to stretch like his splash pages and kind of action sequences. I got that in spades with this, and I'm curious. Is there another story where he allows Hellboy to kind of have a giant fight scene like this?
Oh yeah, all like the short stories where he's fighting a monster, definitely.
Yeah, the short stories are kind of like the monster of the week, type of format.
Well, even the Conqueror Worm with Lobster Johnson, all that shit, he's fighting the fuck out of everybody.
Yeah, but I love this fight scene just because every panel is like a different angle. He's upside down. One angle, it's so great.
It's so if you like Jack Kirby in any way, like this is like such a loving send up to his work on. Just naturally, because that's Mignola naturally is a fan of Kirby, and he said he modeled him off of like Jack Kirby and his dad, Hellboy. So it's like, I mean, it's just cool to see all of that like kinetic energy coming from a guy who also is like, but I want to make stories about like mythology and folklore, and it's just like Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby was into mythology and folklore too,
and it's a tribute to him, but it's not blatant.
That's what I'm saying. He's not like this is my homage. He's like, no. I like Jack Kirby.
No old guys
ergo,
with giant helmets with
right.
horns.
My fucking work looks like Jack Kirby.
A guy in a magic chair.
So everyone's got a mother box on their car.
Do you like Mignola's writing more, or when he's on art duties?
Wait, who are you asking?
Ed, I'll ask you.
Ooh.
And then see, you can chime in if you want.
I think...
Because that's always been my...
Because it's win-win either way, so it's hard
True.
to answer that
It's
question.
His storytelling, and I think this, like I said earlier, this is like an action horror, I guess, if you had to classify it. But his writing, because he's using all this source material that exists, all these fables and myths and, science fiction tropes, and his storytelling, 'cause in comics, I consider storytelling not just the story, but the panel to panel, art. And I don't think anyone's better, honestly.
Yeah.
From panel to panel.
Right. I don't know if I can answer that question too, because Mignola is
He's
such
like
a visual storyteller, like Gendy Tartakovsky is, where he can do an entire cartoon where there's no words, and it's awesome.
And he's one of those guys where I think he's a complete comic book artist, where you don't think of him. It's like you think of almost kind of like Frank Miller, where you think of him as both, like a good writer, and a good artist.
Yes.
Whereas you think of Jim Lee, you think art. You think like a lot of the
You're
image
definitely
guys.
thinking of Jim Lee's writing.
Yeah, it's like, but a lot of those,
Rest
those
in
early
peace, Jim
image
Lee.
books too, those were they were basically like reskinned Marvel characters, Marvel groups.
Sure.
They weren't. This is a whole brand new, unique character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
You take a gamble when you title your main guy Hellboy.
Because at first it's like Hellboy.
You're like, Hellboy, what the fuck? That sounds shitty.
Yeah, I thought it was a dumb. I was like, what's that?
Dude, I was like,
I wasn't allowed to say hell in our house, so I'd always be like, heck boy. Yo, Dad, heck
one of
boy.
those Heckboy comics. Shut up. You're too close.
But yeah, as far as I think he's like a complete package, and his art style may or may some people may not like it or may not understand it or may not aesthetically like it, but yeah, I think he's the complete total package.
Okay. Well, see, I had a unique question for you then in that case.
Shit.
Being like our resident mega Hellboy fan,
I wouldn't say that.
who do you think draws Hellboy? Who do you think draws Hellboy the best outside of Mignola?
Gary Gianni.
Gary Gianni? Ashley, do you agree with that one? Who do you think draws Hellboy best outside of Mignola? Actually, I'll give you a second to think on that. But see, I meant to ask why. Well, why him?
Gary Gianni has his foot in all kinds of like pulp history. Gary Gianni actually was chosen to illustrate the Robert E. Howard Solomon Kane collected edition. He's familiar with the lawnmower. Sorry, he's familiar with that genre, especially the genre that influenced Mike Mignola. So like he gets, it's like he's already living inside of Mignola's mind. So when Mike says, "Hey, Hellboy is going to be facing an evil remnant from a sub race of dinosaurs that also comes from another dimension of hell," Gary's like, "I got you." Just like when, Conan fought Thothamon in this story, in the pulp story. Or just like when, Solomon Kane went to battle with Zanonga of the evil African deities, like something like that, right? Where like those guys are on the same wavelength. And I think also Gary Gianni being he, if I'm not mistaken, I think Gary Gianni did the artwork for In the Coils of Leviathan, another Dark Horse jam of The Shadow. And, I mean, that's a pulp icon in himself. I think he's just so steeped like a delicious tea bag of pulpy goodness.
Yeah, teabag. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm starving now.
Just a nice green tea with a little mint in it.
Oh, no,
That's what Gary Gianni is to Mike Mignola. They complement each other very well.
Ashley, did you figure out who's your favorite artist outside of...
You only had 5 seconds, Ashley. What is your problem?
No.
You call yourself a Hellboy fan, right, guys? Right, gents?
Oh,
Who
Jesus.
was the guy that drew the Lobster Johnson, the Prometheus claw? Is that what it was called?
Oh.
He has like a normal name. Don't remember. It's like Jason Armstrong or something like that.
That's kind of normal.
Todd Wilson.
Well, it's fine. Ashley, let me ask you this. Would you recommend this as a good starting off point for new readers interested in diving into Hellboy or even comics in general? If someone wanted to dive into comics in general, do you think this would be a good starting off point?
So, well, yeah, I mean, it's Hellboy. The worst thing I've ever heard about Hellboy is somebody's like, oh, it's not my favorite thing in the world. Like, everybody likes Hellboy. It's great. I mean, I would say I was looking at all the short stories and like the ones that I really liked. Most of them are in like the third trade paperback. So if you just don't want to like jump in and get like the whole omnibus, like that third trade paperback has the Wolves of St. Augustine, and it has that his like first encounter with the Baba Yaga.
Yes. Oh my God.
So if you don't want to start it, like just get volume 1. I'd say just, get volume 1. But if you just want to like read short stories, like I think volume 3 has like my favorite, like little just short stories in there.
Pancakes.
Yeah,
So good.
That's a classic.
Did Guy Davis ever draw Hellboy?
He did.
Yeah, I'll say him then.
Yeah, Guy Davis. Oh God, so good. Nice guy too.
See, do you think this would
He
be
retweeted one of my Nevermen.
Did he really?
Back in the day. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
good claim to fame? Ashley's like,
I was like, wow.
Yeah, she's like, Guy Davis. Yeah,
I pinned my tweet, hang my hat on that one. It's on my resume.
Yeah. Ashley's like, that's cute. We go to Whataburger every Saturday.
Damn, Ashley's stunting. See, do you think this is a perfect jumping on point for people that want to start Hellboy?
It was my first Hellboy story.
Gas.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I worked at Channel 4 at the time. There was an advertisement saying, you can read Hellboy for free online. And I was like, hey, if it's free, it's for me. It was on the Playboy website, which is funny now because I could have gotten fired if somebody actually looked up all my searches and stuff. Like a stupid idiot. I was just like, free comics, blue, and I just clicked on the link. Virus. Instantly goes to the Playboy homepage.
Oh.
But the idea is you could read these motion comics.
I remember those because they had those on the Dark Horse website.
Oh, dude, it was so sweet. Well, had I known, I was just sitting here like, what the fuck?
I would have went right to the Dark Horse comics.
No, I probably would have stayed on the Playboy. Just saying, let's not lie about me either. I'm grody. But the idea is that you could watch Hellboy his hands went boom, and he hits like the werewolf, and you're like, this is so cool. Why was I never into this when I was little? Oh, that's right. I was dumb and I had no taste. It was 91 and I'm just like, me, I like X-Men, So it's just like, Potter's like, there's nothing wrong with that shit. I say that yesterday.
I thought you were impersonating me in 2019.
Yes, sir. Today.
Yeah, an hour ago.
So anyway, I read the little story. It didn't take long because it was a motion comic. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, because that was when Flash was starting to be used for animation.
Yes.
So, yeah.
See, I'm sitting here like, holy shit. This was 2003. Mm-hmm. So I just graduated college and I was just, I looked like the Unabomber working at WJXT. And I was just like, dude, bother me, I'm editing. This gross beard with a freaking hoodie on, and I'm on the Playboy website. And what are they going to do? Look at you. What were you doing looking at this work? But it was comics.
I was reading the articles.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah. They just look at me and you're like, the assistant director is actually more upset with you that you're a big stupid nerd. We checked this. Yeah, you were actually looking at the articles, you fucking nerd.
Yeah, we would have thought you were cool.
He likes women. Yeah, high five.
We're firing you on nerd.
I think this is definitely a good starting on point for anyone that wants to start Hellboy. I think you get not only a complete story, like most Hellboy stories, but it gives you everything, the best of Mignola, a story based on an actual. Hey, can you guys stop cutting the grass, please?
They have a giant lawn. They've been at it
for 2 hours.
I know there's not big yards here, so I don't know what they're cutting.
Yeah, but it gives you all the best of Mignola, a story based on an actual folk tale, really solid art. Because it's him doing the writing and art, which isn't, totally common throughout Hellboy, because, he does have guest pencilers. And what was I saying? So it's a good standalone story based on a folklore, really good art. yeah, I think this is a great jumping in point for Hellboy. And even I think as a comic, like someone that wants to get into comic books fresh, this would still be a good jumping on point too, because there isn't much that you need to know about Hellboy other than he investigates like the paranormal.
And they established that really quick.
Yeah.
With the, like in that first couple of pages, you kind of establish what they're doing there, who they are, and then you're good to go. And like you said, it's like a nice kind of bite size.
For sure.
I think it's a really, really good just short story.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I said, it's a good. You're not steeped too much into the history of Hellboy. You don't have to know because, like I said, that universe starts expanding. So this is like the kind of like the foundations of that world he's building. So yeah, it's great.
And I got to say, I know that this story shows up in the Chained Coffin and others. And I think the Chained Coffin, that trade, the Chained Coffin and others, has my favorite Hellboy story, which is the Chained Coffin.
God damn, that's such a good story.
It is.
It is
so
metal
awesome.
as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
My mother was a witch. She
No,
tried to make things right at the end. It doesn't work when your baby dad is a fucking devil.
I was looking for a soundbite this whole time, and we had a good ones, but that's it. Thank you so much.
dad is a fucking devil.
But no, I definitely recommend if you can get your hands on that train, the Chained Coffin
to King Arthur
and others. It's got not only my favorite, it's also got this story. So definitely check it out. Before we go ahead and go on break, is there any last minute comments, anything you guys want to mention, or maybe something I didn't get around to asking?
Ooh, you forgot about my baby dad is a fucking devil. I forgot about that one.
How could I forget, man? So, it's such an important part of the story. Ashley, any last minute comments about anything, any last minute comments or things you want to say before we go on break about Hellboy, Wolves of St. August?
So, I mean, you guys pretty much hit everything that was in my notes. I know, I have this whole... we went over everything. The only thing I thought was really cool that we didn't mention is they mentioned that name, that Kate Corrigan did a book about Isabel Gowdy, and I looked her up, and she's really cool. Like, she did these super detailed accounts. She did, like, this detailed testimony in 1662, and it gave, like, this... huge insight into like European witchcraft and folklore. Like she was like in a coven of witches, and she said that she was like having sex with the devil, and she was like crazy. Like, and they have it all recorded because she gave this big testimony without even having to be tortured. She just was just talking.
What that bummed out those guys?
She just needed a cigarette. She's like,
Yeah.
y'all think y'all know some shit, huh?
You ever fucking devil? Let me tell you something.
My baby dad is the fucking devil.
Sit down, kids. Let me tell you a tale.
Ashley, somewhere Nick is just rooting for you right now. He's like, I own that fucking book. Ed, any last comments or things you want to mention about the story?
No, I think we've covered everything. I think it's like a perfect short story and definitely a good jumping on point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Interested.
See, anything from you?
No, man, it's good. It's a good shit. You got to read it. I mean, let this treat yourself and let this little 6-page story be your first foray into Hellboy. If you're listening, you've never done it before, you won't be disappointed. You won't be like, man, I need my time back. That shit was disgusting.
Respect your time.
That's another thing. Actually, it fucking most Hellboy stories respect your time.
All right, I think as a part of our ongoing, reviews and homeworks, Ashley, you've got to let us know. Does this respect your time?
That's good.
Thank you. Right
Ooh,
on the
that's
fly.
good.
You're welcome. That's how
Immediately take it back.
Take it back. Take it back.
Ashley, does this respect your time?
Yes.
Boom. All right, that's all that we need to say. Nick, thank you so much for the suggestion. I think this is a good first entry into our new kind of review and homework series from the patrons.
100%.
I'm thinking for our next homework assignment episode or deep dive review, it'll probably be sometime after our 300th episode, so it'll probably be in October. And I would like that one to be Halloween themed. And since our boy C here will be the birthday boy next month, I'll probably let you make the selection for next month. So start thinking. And
you guys have to read Batman Along Halloween, all of it.
I got it.
I would definitely read it. No,
just kidding.
No,
it's horrible.
It's not scary enough.
Okay.
That's not. I'm about
Calendar,
to get,
man.
I'm about to get some fucking Get Junji Ito on your asses.
And for anyone listening that wants to be able to suggest our next comic to review, consider becoming a Shortbox patron. Once again, thanks again to Nick Wagner for the recommendation. Let's go on a music break. We got some emails and a voicemail to play afterwards. And since we're on the road to 300, I want to revisit an intro song from one of our previous seasons. This is the instrumental.
This is Joe Walsh with... Wait, what?
This is the instrumental for season 4, produced by KLA, now known as Alan Fresh, one of our in-house producers who's been making music for the show since day one. We'll be back after the short music break. We'll read some fan mail and give our champions this week. Stay tuned. All right, Shortbox Nation, that was the instrumental from season 4 by our very own KLA, a.k.a. Alan Fresh, a.k.a. Nick Wagner.
Stop.
Whoa.
I kid. I do have 2 emails and then a voicemail to play. How about we start off with the voicemail? It's to kick things off, it is voicemail from Mr. Ben Kingsbury, owner of Gotham City Limit Comic Shop. Let's hear what he's got to say this week.
Hey, Shortbox listeners. Ben Kingsbury here from Gotham City Limit in Jacksonville, Florida, interrupting your listening pleasure once again, but this time I think with a pretty cool announcement. I'm proud to announce the Gotham City Limit will be releasing our very first exclusive variant cover this October 28th for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin #1, with artwork done by the amazing Jason Metcalf. With a limited print run of only 600 and a price tag of $20, these are not going to last long. You can check out the artwork on our social media page right now on Facebook or Instagram. And if you're interested in getting on the pre-order list, just give us a call up at the shop. Make sure you scope out the billboard in the background for the Duval Easter eggs we put on there as well. So we hope you enjoy your week. We're very excited about the comic. And remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
All right. Thank you so much, Ben, per the usual. Thank you for that voicemail. Make sure to check out the comic books he's mentioned in that. And let's go ahead and make our way to the emails. Our first one is from Trey Namo.
Trey Namo. All right. What's up, Shortbox? Okay.
Uh-oh.
The title of this email is WAP.
Oh.
Okay. And I think now I understand.
Yo, Ashley's looking on
Now I
Ashley's face.
understand.
That's so priceless.
Why he chose
Worship and prayer?
No.
It is Sunday. What a holy man.
What? It's exactly right.
He knows us so well.
Trey writes. Trey writes. What's up, Shortbox? I got to ask y'all some WAP you can put your boy on. And when he says WAP, he means weird alternative paperbacks. Also, if y'all had to pitch a WAP, God, this is disgusting, to a company to make into a TV show or movie, not the song itself, the actual that I have to pitch to a TV show, also, if you had to pitch a weird alternative paperback to a company to make into a TV show or a movie, what would it be and why? As always, geek that thing up.
What?
Whoa, hold on a second. Hold on a second. He said, hold on.
Good.
Whoa.
As always, geek that thing up, mommy. Make it roll. Or whatever Potter's sign off is.
I will be signing off with that one.
Respectfully, Trey Namo.
Oh, my God.
Good. I didn't warn you about that one, but that was way too much fun. Geek that thing up, mommy. Make it roll.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so his question, once again, was if you had to pitch a WAP, weird alternative paperback, to a company to make it into a TV show or movie, what would it be and why?
What does that entail?
I'm I'm just going to say,
Seriously, I'm
maybe
just
he
like-
means a paperback, like a trade. of
Yeah, I
some
think a
kind.
comic book or something.
Just like,
Yeah,
okay.
let's do that. I think he
Yeah.
was just trying to be cute with
Yeah.
the WAP stuff. with the WAP stuff these kids are talking about.
He made us all, blush and giggle. So.
No, man. You know what?
Especially Ashley.
No, fuck that shit. I listen to Little Kim in the 90s. Cardi B don't
for
scare
sure,
me.
for sure. Yeah, I have the same. Yeah, Ashley, what's a WAP that you would recommend that you would pitch to a company?
Quite possibly the most offensive sentence we've said on the
my
show.
God. Isolate that.
I'm surprised that you guys hadn't heard of the Hanukkah brothers.
I haven't.
So they did this book called The Divine, like 5 years ago, and it takes place in like this Asian country that's being like torn apart by civil war. And the guy's telling the story. He's like a U.S. soldier, and he goes over there and he finds that there's like this rebellion run by like two 10-year-old child soldiers, and they have like mystical powers, and there's a dragon, and it's so weird. But as soon as I heard that email, that's the first thing that I thought of. So, and I couldn't even find the publishing company. So it wasn't anything big, but it is like just such a beautifully illustrated book, and the story is so cool. It's been a couple years since I read it, but for some reason when I heard that email, that was the first thing that came to my mind.
Weird. What's it called again?
The Divine. And it's hard because when you look up The Divine, all that comes up is the Wicked and the
Wicked
Divine.
and Divine, yeah.
But you got to scroll through all that nonsense
comes up with
and
Hanukkah
get to... not what I was looking for.
Ashley's like, let me look up this comic as soon as she hits searches.
All right, that was a good one, Ashley. Ed, what about you? What's a WAP that you'd pitch?
Oh my!
I'm just gonna keep on. I mean, thank you, Trey. He knew what he was doing.
Let me make it weird.
I guess I'll go more contemporary. I guess I would say Black Hammer by Dark Horse.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Ashley's favorite artist, Jeff Lemire.
Yeah.
He didn't draw
That
it.
is definitely
He drew the covers.
Yeah, that is definitely a weird
something.
alternative comic book.
Yeah.
That's like the definition. That's a good one. Okay. C, what about you? What's a WAP?
Oh my God. I would love to see a adaptation of In the Coils of Leviathan, The Shadows, the 4-issue Gary Gianni story. That oh, thank you, Ashley. I just got your text. Yeah, I'd love to see that because there's actually a little poem at the end called "My City," and it's written from like the Shadows' perspective, and it's fucking metal as shit. It's awesome. Yeah, you're like, fucking kill the criminals. Murderers beware. He knows the thoughts of men.
Well, my suggestion will be Grizzly.
Just stop right now.
No, my suggestion would be Grizzly Shark by Ryan Otley and Ivan. What is it? Placencia? Something like that.
And that's the show. Well, thanks for listening,
that's
guys.
my WAP pitch. That's just even more sick.
Trey, you asked for this.
But Grizzly Shark, you guys remember it, like this series? It was like
Yeah.
Ryan Otley, like just needing a vehicle to be as gruesome as he always is. But it's essentially like a fucking megalodon shark that can swim through the trees, and he's the whole issue is just kind of a joke. He ends up just brutally killing all these people in the woods and whatnot. But I figured if they can do Sharknado, they can definitely do Grizzly Shark by Ryan Otley. So Trey, that is my WAP. I'd be curious to hear what your
Jesus.
WAP that you would pitch.
Stop it.
That is
Wamp.
the
Why you
name
gotta
of
say it
his
like
email.
that? Wamp.
All right, but thank you, Trey. All right, next up on our email list is one from our friendly neighborhood nerd.
What can follow that up?
Oh, Bob.
Not much.
Okay.
Not much.
Okay.
All right. His email is entitled Unsung Heroes. What is good, Shortbox fam? It's your friendly neighborhood nerd, Bobo, checking in over here from the block. Firstly, I wanted to say today, I hope everybody's been doing well since the last time I got to see you all. Second, the show is getting a little long in the tooth, and I've been so happy to be along for the journey. But I wanted to drop in the sense that we're old.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Not he's tired of us. He's just saying that we've
That's
been
what
around
long
for
in
a
the
while.
tooth means, doesn't
Well, let me finish.
okay,
this.
You're just
Finish
reading
it.
the email. Don't shoot the messenger.
But
I
Kill the messenger.
Whoa.
Okay, start.
Jesus.
sorry.
Put the bottle down.
I thought that's what you wanted, dude.
No, I did.
Oh, okay. Stop. But I wanted to drop this query on you from a conversation I had not too long ago. With studios more comfortable with doing deeper cut characters and giving directors and writers the free range to pull some more out of the box people like in the Suicide Squad with names like Polka Dot Man and Peacekeeper, who are some of the more unsung or less known characters you'd like to see get some TV or film time? My picks are Etrigan and Deadman. Damn it.
Those are good picks.
Yeah, those are good picks.
Just repeat them.
But don't just limit to DC. I want it to get weird.
I wasn't going to limit to DC, I promise.
Lies. You're like, yeah, Marvel. You know who's weird and out of the box? Spider-Man. I bet you guys never heard of that guy, huh? We're having a good time. Before I go, I wanted to champion two shows that I really fell in love with. Lovecraft Country and Dispatches from Elsewhere. If you have the chance to check out both these shows, amazing cast, tremendous writing, and such enthralling and captivating cinematography, you won't be disappointed. Hella confused, but never disappointed. All right.
Awesome. Is that it?
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go.
So,
unsung heroes. Who you guys' pick?
Here.
I'm asking like this, so that way I don't have to say it first.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Normally I ask the
All right.
questions.
Hey.
That's fine. I got one. I got one. Savage
one,
Dragon.
too.
I think Savage Dragon would make a really good
didn't
what's
he
the
have a
TV show?
cartoon?
Yes, he did. He did.
Okay.
But
Look at that.
how awesome
I
would
had
it
to
be?
shit on your
Yeah, he did.
suggestion.
Thank-
That's all you get.
The one time I do like an image, like just non-Marvel.
Fuck you.
But for some reason, I can imagine them doing a Savage Dragon
That would
almost
be
in the
fun.
same, like a live action in the same vein as like Tick. Like how
Yes.
good like the Tick
That would be
looks.
really cool.
I feel like that would be a pretty cool.
Who's your pick?
Dude, he's. Ooh, I don't know.
Who's your pick? Who's your pick?
Good. Let me come back to that one.
Nope, you got to tell me now. Sorry.
Ving Rhames. There you go. Ving Rhames from the 90s. A young 90s Ving Rhames. Dude. Nah, he'd kill it.
That's not bad.
That is not bad.
Damn,
had it in my back
you just
pocket
had that shit. Shpah!
Ooh, yeah.
Got him.
I mean, Savage Dragon, he's a fucking dragon in the, I think, Detroit or Chicago police force.
yeah.
Like, what?
First off.
And that is a Kirby tribute, if anything is.
Neo Mutant, okay? Dragon is
bad.
our word.
My
You
bad.
can't say it.
Whoa.
Okay? You cannot say it. It's 2020 about it.
True. Ashley, what about you? Unsung hero.
I don't know why. Big Bertha,
Oh!
right?
Big Bertha.
I read a
From
couple
the
issues of West
DC?
Coast Avengers.
Oh, West Coast Avengers,
Yeah.
Wow.
That is
The only thing.
that is
Here's
a
my
real-
Marvel card. Have it.
That is a deep
Damn.
Oh my God.
Ashley, take the rest of the day off. I'm proud. That was good.
Never, yeah.
Shit.
man.
I liked
Ed,
her.
yeah, you got to follow up. Ed.
Batman.
Batman.
Death Knight Metal. Creature Commandos.
Who the hell are they?
Yeah, don't even know who that is.
DC's basically Universal Monster
Huh.
soldiers.
Oh, okay.
Creature Command, or like Frankenstein and Shade, which is like
Yeah.
DC's,
Damn.
Something like that.
Solid
That'd be
ones,
cool.
Ed. Good follow up. All right, so you had all the time in the world to think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to see a live action. Don't freaking change the costumes. I want them to be as crisp and as silly and weird.
Crisp.
Jack Kirby's Fourth World. It's already in line with what we've been talking about. I would love to see like Orion with the fucking thick ass eyebrows.
Yes.
You know, just to give you a little taste, a little reminder who his daddy is. You know,
Yeah.
like he's a handsome dude most of the time.
He's so angry
He
for
doesn't-
growing up in
yeah,
paradise.
Doesn't get that.
So angry.
He's got those genes, baby.
Poor Scott Free had a suck.
Scott Free still got a positive attitude.
Yeah.
You know, Scott Free literally lived in the place
Granny
called the
Oh, wait a minute, man. We have.
Shoving stuff up his ass every
All
day.
right, I love.
Ed Asner fucking like, here you go, Scott Free, another dildo Jack Kirby drew.
Damn it, dude.
Why are there?
One of our most recurring, I think, topics we've had on our time on the show is bad comic book fathers, and I don't think we've ever brought in the All Father and Dark Side as just terrible fucking
Just
fathers.
bad dads. Like,
Damn, that's so good.
we
Shit.
will trade our sons to keep
He's not
the
only
peace.
bad, he's like an absentee. He just lets his minions torture the kids.
Damn, he can't even find time to torture
Yeah.
his own kid.
Not even one Omega Beam. He's sitting there.
He doesn't even have to be in the same room to do the Omega Beam.
Darkseid just sitting at parade rest looking at the window like he's fucking, I've got better things to do.
Even Darkseid's like, God, I hate this place.
Stare at these lava pits.
Damn, that was good. That was good. Baba, thank you so much for that email. Trey, thank you for that email, I guess. And then, of course, Ben, thank you for the voicemail.
Oh, man.
For anyone listening that wants to, send in their own weird-ass question or ask us our thoughts for casting, shoot us an email at theshortboxjacks@gmail.com or leave a short voice message at speakpipe.com/theshortbox or hit our shortbox hotline 904-580-40.
Speakpipe sounds horrible.
95.
Is that a real service?
Yes.
Speakpipe sounds like glory hole.
Shove it up your speak pipe.
You know what I mean? Like, we got a
Damn, there goes our sponsorship deal with them. Damn it.
Do we really?
Pipe.
No, it's
It doesn't mean what you think it means.
Yeah, exactly. Speakpipe.
Damn, yeah. So, all right, that is the end of our email section. Thank you to everyone that sent
right
something in. And let's go ahead and wrap up the episode with our champion season. For those of you tuning in for the first time, Champion Season is the last segment of the show. It is our opportunity to go around the table and everyone gets a champion and highlight a few things in the pop culture that we feel, hey, this is really awesome. More people should be checking it out. It could be a comic book, a movie, a TV series, something, an event that we want to go ahead and highlight. Ashley, what are you going to champion today?
All right, I've got two. So the first one is I'm not going to stop championing Lovecraft Country until new episodes stop coming out. Have you guys watched any of it?
Not yet.
Oh my
Go
God.
ahead. I won't look you in the eyes when I say no.
I
know,
can't
right?
even.
No.
The last two episodes, and it's funny, like just doing the Hellboy story, 2 episodes ago, they had the best transformation I've ever seen on screen.
Damn.
From
And
what
it-
to what?
Yeah, to what?
Well,
A WAP?
you got
It's a secret?
It's a secret.
Sorry, I know.
But it had
I'm
that, like,
comfortable.
you know how the werewolf just like pulled the skin off, like that.
Oh, it's a werewolf.
It
Cool.
was it's not a werewolf.
Oh.
But it was just so amazing. Like it was absolutely.
Have anything to do with the deep ones?
Is it octopus head?
Ooh, not yet.
Okay.
Ooh, damn.
But yeah, it was. I was just watching it, and like Josh was watching it, like in horror.
You said not yet. Do they
And
reference them?
You gotta watch
Yes!
it.
Oh, come on.
And
Werewolves
so, yeah,
and
it was
deep ones.
so good. I don't know how they put the money into this show to make it
Damn
look
it.
that fantastic.
AT&T money.
It's like movie
real.
quality every single episode.
That's Jordan Peele's producer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn,
And he went straight up hard.
this is the second time.
It's scary.
This
It's
is
tired of being
so
funny.
Scary.
This is the second time that you've championed this.
Yeah.
Ashley.
Yeah.
Feeling
No,
passionate
there are
about
parts
it.
where I've had to like close my eyes and I'm like, oh my God.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's already out all the way, like the whole first season?
No, I think the first 5 or 6 are out. I'm not sure how long it's
Yeah.
going to be, but
They're,
you
like,
shouldn't
dropping a
wait
few
till
and
it's
then week to
over,
week now.
just-
I'm about to do that.
Just catch up. It's
I'm about
so
to do
worth
that.
it.
Cool.
The other one is the Sex Criminals Sexual Gary one shot. It's just like if you've ever wanted to read Sex Criminals.
What's wrong with this episode?
If you just want to like laugh, it came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's just one shot. You don't have to know anything about Sex Criminals. You just have to buy this one issue. Matt Fraction wrote it.
Sexual Gary?
Yeah, Rachel Stott actually did the art on it instead of Chip. I think he's too busy writing Daredevil. And
Sexual Gary was my
all
dad's
stuff.
nickname. Maybe. I didn't. I don't know why though. I never understood it.
It's just fun. It's just hilarious, and I really and I needed this. I needed to just lay on the couch and just enjoy this book for like 20 minutes. So if you're having a rough week, just read the Sexual Gary one shot.
Okay.
Per the usual.
I will make sure to give that to
man.
my wife.
Sexual Gary.
Per the
Here's
usual.
Sexual Gary, Sarah.
Good champions. Ed, what are you going to champion today?
I just got this on the way here. The Amazon guy.
Tasty.
Is Jamie Hewlett has a Taschen retrospective book. If you don't know the Taschen books, they make really awesome
Then fuck
art.
you.
Yeah, fuck you guys. They make awesome art books, but it's cool seeing someone this, I guess. And I know they've done like Marvel and like, retrospective things like that, but it's basically his 25 years of his career and all of the projects he's done. There's paintings, sketches, comics.
For someone that isn't familiar with Jamie Hewlett, what has
He's
he done?
one of the co-creator of Tank Girl, and he does all the like the visual art director for the Gorillas.
If you ever
like all the
seen or
characters
heard of the Gorillas,
yeah, he drew all those.
He drew
characters.
those people. Cool.
Yeah. So and then he did like this Journey to the West, the Monkey King. He redesigned all those characters and did like an opera, like an anime.
damn.
It was like, man, that's insane. But
What if they were all like Dragon Ball Z characters and he's like, I made these guys up?
But it has, like I said, pretty much, there's, from sketches to he's kind of, it's cool seeing someone in comics kind of get into the fine arts world on their own merit, So it's oil paintings, watercolors, sketches, comics. If you like concept stuff, if you like, breakdowns like that, this is a really cool hardcover book, and it's only like $20-$25.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I love me a good
In the
affordable
cart.
Toshin book.
Yeah. And Toshin books are always, bang for the buck, a really good book. It's the printing's really nice, full bleed, full color. It's awesome.
Yeah, can't agree more. All right. C, what do you want to champion today?
I will champion, first and foremost, the Dune trailer.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that.
Badass.
I have been watching it nonstop since
Excited?
it came out. I'm very excited, actually. Actually,
What are they doing? They're doing several movies, right? Or are they
they're doing two.
two? Okay.
So, in theory,
Okay.
they're doing two, hypothetically.
If one does well?
Right.
Okay.
I'm very, 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 very excited. I like Denis Villeneuve's art. All his movies I've enjoyed. Sicario was fucking badass, and I forgot that Josh Brolin worked with him in that movie too. And he's going to be playing Gurney Halleck in Dune, which is like another badass character. I loved The Arrival. I thought that was good. I liked Blade Runner 2049. I thought that was pretty good too. Like it's like all his movies. It's like he's been training cinematically to do Dune, right? He covered the deserts. In the arid deserts in Sicario. He got the sci-fi shit down in Blade Runner 2049.
yeah.
He's got the weird sort of like mind-bendy time shit as far as The Arrival is concerned. So like he's the perfect guy to do this. And I'm really, really happy that it's getting made and that they're adapting the book. And I think it's my favorite science fiction book, hands down. Series, like for people that don't know anything about Dune, without Dune, you don't get Game of Thrones. Just saying.
How many books are in that, dude? 20?
So there are 5. There are 5 books written by Frank Herbert, the original creator.
Okay, gotcha.
And then his son Brian pulled a Christopher Tolkien and was like, I found my daddy's notes. And it was like the quest for more money, So you have to, a lot of people are kind of polarized on it, right? Like you either are in the camp of, I like Brian Herbert. Frank Herbert was a genius. I don't expect anybody to live up to his standards, but hey, the Brian Herbert stuff's not bad if you're just looking for a good time. And then you have the people that are like, Frank Herbert was Muad'Dib. He was a god. He was the Kwisatz Haderach. Everyone else is subpar, including his son. So you're like, calm down, buddy. Like, can't you just no. So, Dune trailer. I'm excited about it. My next and last champion is The Incal by Jean-Gérard Mobius and Alejandro Jodorowsky. And speaking of Dune, all the sketches that Mobius did for Dune, concept-wise, they basically made a story out of it so that way they could use it. Because it was literally like thousands of sketches that they never used. And it's basically The Fifth Element before The Fifth Element came out. Like it came out around sporadically throughout Heavy Metal magazine during the 80s, like I think till 88.
I think so.
And it's The Fifth Element. It's so good. It's incredible.
Are those
it's weird.
collected hardcovers?
Yes.
Yeah, those are great.
All the I think Humanoids is the publishing company, and it's Jodorowsky, and he's crazy ass Chilean man. I don't know if you guys saw Jodorowsky's Dune, that documentary, where it talks about this dude is insane. If you've seen an Alejandro Jodorowsky film, 1, I'm sorry. 2, it's fucking badass, and it is an acid trip. Amazing. I like East to West. Who is that? Hickman? Right? That's Hickman's joint, right? Yeah. Wouldn't exist without Jodorowsky. Watch The Holy Mountain, and you're going to be like, fuck!
Oh, Holy Mountain, okay.
Holy fuck!
Holy Mountain.
So you've seen it,
seen
right?
Holy Mountain, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying as far as East to West is concerned? Yes. There's no way anybody could deny that they have been exposed to Alejandro Jodorowsky's work. But anyway, it's that same trippiness, just in comic book form. And if you like Mobius, It is a delicious. It is wonderful.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Yes.
Incal has been on my like back burner list for a while. I definitely want to read that one.
Yeah.
So that was a good champion. Okay, I've got two today. One is Hot Ones. It's the YouTube web series.
I saw your cute little Instagram post.
yeah.
Oh, if y'all want to try The Last Dab, I mean,
Bro, I've had
come
the
on.
last dab a long time ago. I drink that shit.
Yeah, you know what? All right, I'm glad you said that
Challenge.
because it's hot. Yes, it's hot, but my mom has cooked way hotter things.
Yeah.
On a random Tuesday. you know?
Yeah.
Ethnic households should have no issue.
But granted, I'm also not eating like 10 wings, and increasingly hot ass, so I get, anyways. I do want to champion Hot Ones because I've been on a rabbit hole lately.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Butter, you're a better interviewer than that guy.
Damn, that almost made me tear up.
That guy asks great questions, but he's not a good interviewer. He asks the best questions.
He
in the
does
world,
have
but
some
he's
great.
not a good interviewer.
His personality,
Yep.
it could be a little. I thank you though. I really appreciate that.
It's the last compliment I'll give you.
Damn it! I better savor this.
Forever.
Hot Ones. Butter is better.
So it's for those unaware, it's produced by First We Feast and Complex Media. The basic premise involves celebrities being interviewed by the host Sean Evans over a platter of increasingly spicy chicken wings, or to quote the host's tagline, "It's the show of hot questions and even hotter wings." It's currently on season 12, and some of the interviews I recommend are Idris Elba had a really good one.
Henry Rollins does too.
Yeah, dude, I was hoping
See
you'd
the
seen
Gordon
that one.
Ramsay one?
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, Gordon Ramsay was okay, but I feel like he plays too. I don't know,
Hold on,
something
hold on.
about too much Gordon
Rachel
Ramsay.
Ray, did you see that one?
No,
She's
my girl
fucking
Rachel Ray.
G. She's just like, yeah, blah, 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 yeah, blah, blah, blah.
What?
Dude, she's
that's
a
cool.
fucking gangster.
I did
She's
not-
like,
okay,
yeah,
that's-
these
Did you
are
see
pretty good.
The Eddie Wong one where he started at the hottest and
Way
flipped out and left.
The Shia LaBeouf one's good too.
All right, yeah. So I had Idris
they're
Elba
funny.
is a good one. Margaret Robbie was really good. Tom Segura, I think
yeah,
he's
Tom's
been on.
fucking
I think he's
great.
been on twice.
Yeah.
And goddamn, he started tearing up, and he was like, "Wait, let me get into the character." I knew you'd be back. Like, it was just some funny shit he was saying. And then the Paul Rudd one was really good too. So, and just a heads up, I know the Idris Elba and Paul Rudd, you got to watch those on their website because they don't put all of their seasons on YouTube. A good bit of their YouTube one or season is on YouTube, but not all of them. So heads up on that one. Really, any episodes have been pretty phenomenal so far. I haven't run into bad ones. But
if you like the person they're interviewing, definitely check it out.
for sure. Of course, there's like, the ones that became like memes, like the Kevin Hart one is, I've seen that one around a lot.
Key and Peele.
The Key and Peele one is definitely, there's some famous ones that there's no way that you probably haven't seen a clip or something, but those are my favorite ones so far. Now, if you're a fan of like quirky and meticulous interview styles, like Nardwuar is someone that kind of comes to mind. Or you just want to watch celebrities get their ass kicked by hot ass wings while answering really good questions. Check it out on YouTube and firstwefeast.com. I've been, like I said, just watching those on all my free time. Speaking about limited free time, actually, is I started, which leads me to my second champion, Ghost of Tsushima. It is an action-adventure game developed...
Now, I've never heard of this popular game.
It's
No one else has talked about it.
It's an
independent gem.
Yeah,
It's an indie game.
little hidden underground thing. I just
You guys
stumbled.
remember Sonic the Hedgehog?
But for those unaware or might have been living in Iraq, it's an action-adventure game developed by Sucker Punch Productions. I think right now it's only...
That's why you like it.
Dude, I swear I knew you guys were going to say
that.
that. I left it in my
This
notes.
isn't Sucker Punch.
But I like it.
Where are the girls in nothing clothes?
I think currently right now it's only exclusive to PS4, but it's an open world like masterpiece. It follows a samurai on a quest to protect Tsushima Island during the first Mongol
Say it
invasion
like a stereotypical
of Japan.
Japanese. There we go. There we go. Thank you.
I think it's safe to say if you're a fan of Kurosawa films, Japanese history, or Samurai Jack, or anything in that kind of realm, get this game. It is absolutely fun. There is so much stuff to do, and just like as far as like cinematography wise, it is like shot really well. And
So much for George Lucas to rip off.
yo, come on. I know that it's like I don't know what the hours are, but it's a good amount of gameplay, but really well worth it. It's I can't.
I directed The Hidden
This
Fortress.
is amazing.
I did.
Those are my champions today. So Hot Ones and then Ghost of Tsushima. With that being said, that is the last segment of our show. Does anyone have any champions, shameless plugs, or anything they want to say before we wrap it up? Ashley, I'll go with you first.
I got nothing.
You did that so
say.
cool, by the way. Like your arms are folded and you slowly walked up.
Nothing.
Speak to my agent.
I've got nothing.
All right, Ed. What about you?
Just Edbot5000 on Instagram.
Are you taking commissions?
Always.
Nice. Okay. What's the last commission you did?
The last one I did was a Swamp Thing.
Yo, was that the Swamp Thing that you
with
posted?
Abby Arcane?
Abby Arcane.
Damn, that one's good, dude. That
was
one's
good.
really good. Solid stuff.
Cheeky.
See, any shout outs or anything?
I got nothing.
It's like butts and monsters. I'll do all day long.
Okay, so I saved my usual shout outs for the end. So I do got a few. Two. I want to shout out 4 individuals. 2 of them are my dad's friend from work. He's been, I guess lately my dad's just been listening to the show a lot more lately.
Oh,
So
what up, Joe?
He's, but he's also been recommending it to other comic book fans he works. You know, he works at NAS, right?
Let's change our demographic.
So I'll go ahead and shout out 2 individuals that he said ended up listening to the show and are now really big fans. Shout out to Jeremy Wicker and then a dude named Blue.
The Wicker Man.
And a dude named Blue. I was like, Dad, what's his real name? He was like, I'm not sure.
That goes on
I
blue.
didn't
Well, he said
bother
they call him. He said they call him Blue.
Hey,
He's like,
Blue.
Butter, you don't ask a man named Blue his real name? What the fuck's the matter with you?
So shout outs to Jeremy and Blue for becoming new listeners.
You're my boy, Blue.
Yeah. I want to go ahead and shout out 2 existing, listeners and friends of the show.
Sorry.
Thank you. Shout outs to Cozy. Shout outs to Bacozy, man. He's been a long time a friend of the show. I met him back in boot camp. He's been listening to the show since then. And I want to mainly congratulate him on landing a job with Barstool Sports, and he's involved with the new Deion Sanders podcast. So he said that, he said, in his words, he said that this show has inspired him a lot in helping, Deion Sanders. with his own podcast.
Can we
Like,
get a
what?
fucking hookup with Neon Dion?
Yeah, for real. So shout outs to you,
Inspired me,
Bacozy.
and I surpassed you.
Yeah.
See you, losers. See you.
Stay in the slow lane. Slow lane, jerks.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, not for real. Cozy, it's been like really fun watching him like kind of just get where he's at.
It's really been fun watching him leave us behind.
Yeah, for real.
Squalor of our miserable lives.
I only hang out with Hall of Fame athletes now, guys. Sorry.
Speaking of new podcasts, I also want to congratulate our good friend Shaggy Black on the launch of his podcast called Cinema Villains. It's a movie review podcast where him and his friend Jose primarily focus on reviewing the villains of said movies. You can support both those podcasts on your favorite podcast apps now. That is all I had as far as shout-outs. So that brings us to the end of our show, Shortbox Nation. Thank you for hanging out with us and sharing your most valuable commodity, which is your time. You could be listening to any other podcast, but you're here with us, and that means a lot. Thank you. It is appreciated. I personally want to recognize and thank our sponsor, Gotham City Limit, and of course, our Shortbox patrons. If you feel inclined to help us keep the lights on here at Shortbox Studios and pay some podcast bills, consider becoming a Shortbox patron. We'll reward you with bonus episodes, commercial-free listening, as well as exclusive merch. Check out what we have to offer for your contributions on our membership site, patreon.com/theshortbox. And with all that being said, listeners, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. In 2 weeks, we'll have an interview episode with one of the most consistent comic creators in the industry today. Find out who that is in about 2 weeks. But first up is another installment of our Road to 300 flashback episodes where we revisit another first appearance moment. Last week, we revisited Ashley's debut as a full-time host. So next week, we'll do someone else. Make sure you stay tuned to the podcast feed. And if you want to have a cameo on our next show, feel free to leave us your thoughts or comments on this episode, or Hellboy, the Wolves of St. August, or just chime in and say hello. Write us at theshortboxjacks@gmail.com. Or leave a short voice message on speakpipe.com/theshortbox. Have a great week, make mine Shortbox, and keep it geeky.